Today we are going to understand about the revenue policy of Britishers and its effects. So what happened was, after gaining the various parts of India, after having the control over the various parts of India, Britishers started collecting land revenue on the basis of local situation. So as per the local situation, they used to collect the land revenue, okay? And in different parts of country there were different system, and mainly there were three system that were permanent settlement, Rautwari system and the Mehalwari system, okay? But before introducing all these three systems, Britishers tried various land revenue experiments or various land revenue system in India, okay? So in 1772, the governor of Bengal, Warren Hastings, introduced the system of revenue farming. So what is revenue farming? It is a system of tax collection that was introduced in the province of Bengal. And what used to happen in this system was, a European district collector or any district collector would farm out the right to collect the revenue to the highest bidder. So what used to happen was that the right to collect the land revenue was given to third party, and that third party was selected on the basis of the bidding or the basis of the auction. So whoever used to bid that they will collect this revenue, or whoever used to bid that they would collect the highest revenue, so the revenue collection right were given to that third party, okay? For an example, person A said to Britishers that he could collect 50 rupees from village A. Person B said that he could collect 60 rupees from village A, and person C said that he could collect 62.5 rupees from village A. So the highest bidder, that's the person C, would get the right to collect the revenue, okay? So this was the system of revenue farming. So this system was a total failure and it ruined the cultivators. Why? Because the third party, that is the revenue collector, used to demand high revenues from them. So this system collapsed and the Britishers came up with the new system, and the first one is the permanent settlement. Permanent settlement is also known as Zamindari system, okay? This Zamindari system or the permanent settlement was introduced by Cornwallis under the Permanent Settlement Act of 1793. Permanent Settlement Act of 1793. But in 1797, it got introduced in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. So this permanent settlement or the zamindari system can be seen in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa, okay? And there were some characteristics under this system. What were they? First, zamindar who earlier only had the right to collect the revenue were established as the proprietors of or owners of land. So the zamindars who only had the right to collect the revenue, they had previously they had just to collect the revenue, but sooner and later they got the ownership of the land. They became the proprietor of the land. And how? Say for example, if a peasant or a farmer is not able to pay the tax, then zamindar had the right to take away their land, okay? So this is how from revenue collector they became the owner of the land, okay? The second characteristic is that zamindar collected land revenue. They deposited a 10th part from 11 parts and kept 1 part as their salary. So what happened in this system was, the revenue that were collected by the zamindars, out of which 10th part was given to the Britishers and the 11th part, that is 1 part, was kept by them as their salary. So for example, if a zamindar collected 110 rupees as a land revenue or as a tax, then he would give 100 rupees to the Britishers and he would keep 10 rupees as his salary with himself, okay? Then the other characteristics was that the state demand for the land revenue was permanently fixed and they were given ownership of land under their sector. So what happened in this system was, that is how the system got the name of permanent settlement, is that the demand for the revenue were fixed. They were permanently fixed. For example, if the land revenue in the year 1780 was fixed as rupees 100, then in the year 1785 or in 1790 that would remain the same. So may it be 1785 or 1790, the land revenue demand would be same as 100 rupees, okay? So this was the permanent settlement or the zamindari system. Now what happened was, initially zamindars also struggled to get the revenue or to get the tax in the system. So what used to happen was, if there was a drought or if there was a lack of rain, so we know that the crop would not grow, and so the peasants or the farmers were not able to pay the land revenue or the tax, and in turn zamindars were not able to pay the tax to the Britishers. So if zamindar was not able to pay the tax to the Britishers, then their land was taken away and it was auctioned to some other zamindar. So in a way the zamindars also lost the land. So initially for 15 years the zamindars faced the problems, but after that they became very rich. And but this system failed, and why? The reason was the land revenue was fixed. So Britishers understood that as they move on the inflation would increase, but the revenue was fixed, so their increment in the income was not there. So this system failed. Then the second type of system was Rothbari system, and this Rothbari system was started by reformer Thomas Munro, okay, but in Bombay Presidency it was introduced by Elphinstone. So we can see this Rothbari system in some parts of Bombay, Assam and Madras. So in these three states we can see the Rothbari system, that is Bombay, Assam and Madras, okay. So according to this system there was no middleman. The farmer could directly pay the tax. And what used to happen in the system was, the farmers or the peasants were made the owner of the land on a condition that they would pay tax directly to the Britishers. So there was a condition of paying tax, and if the farmers were able to do so, if they agreed to do so, then the land rights were given to the farmers, okay. So the Britishers had given the rights to girasdars and farmers to pay directly to the states, okay. So now there was no middleman, they could pay directly to the Britishers, but still this system had not given any benefits to the farmer. And why so? Because very high taxes on the land were there. The government had right to increase the tax amount any time, and also the situation like drought or lack of rain, farmers had to pay fixed tax to the government. So what happened in the system was, the taxes were very high, and also government had the right to increase the tax at any point of time. So as you know, the rates of the Rothbari system were such that for dry lands, the income that were generated from that, 50% of the amount would be given to the Britishers, and if the land was irrigated, then 60% of the revenue would be given as the tax. So you can see the taxes were very high, and also the government had the power to increase it at any time. And the other reason was that if there was a situation of drought or less rain, in such situation the tax were fixed and the farmers had to pay the tax, okay. So because of this reason, this system also didn't bring any benefit to the farmer. And what used to happen was, if the peasants were not able to pay the tax, then their land ownership was taken away by the Britishers, okay. Then the third system that Britishers introduced was the Mahalwari system. Now this system was introduced in 1833 during the period of William Bentinck, okay. So this system was introduced in 1833, and it was a improvised format of zamindari settlement. So we can say that Mahalwari system or the Mahalwari settlement is a combination of zamindari system as well as Rothbari system. And this system can be seen in the north and the northwest of India, in Punjab and in some parts of central India. So this system was implemented in northwest of India, Punjab and the some part of central province, okay. Now what used to happen in this system was, the peasants were allowed to pay tax directly to the Britishers. But if they were not able to pay the taxes, then the settlements were made either with the village community or in some cases with the talukdar. So we can see that the Rothbari system was also there, that is the peasants were able to pay taxes directly to the Britishers, and if they were not able to pay, the system of zamindari was there, that is the settlement was made either by the village community or by the talukdar, okay. And the units were fixed and they were called as mahal in the system. So from where the Mahalwari settlement name came. So the Britishers made a group of villages, one or more villages, and that group was called as Mahal. So suppose village A and village B are grouped as a fixed unit, and that fixed unit used to call as Mahal. Okay, and suppose the village C, village D and village E were grouped together, they were called as a fixed unit termed as Mahal. So the Mahal system came from the name Mahal of the group of the villages. Okay. So now what happened that in the system was it was implemented with the landlords and the zamindar. So these were the three systems that British introduced in India, and because of these three systems there were drastic changes in the age old land policy of India. And what happened that because of these drastic changes the villages of our country got ruined. Okay. And what was the aim behind all this system was to increase the income by collecting tax. So the main aim to introduce this system was to increase the income of Britishers by this tax collection. And as the data given over here is that during 1858 to 59, 50% of total income of government came by tax only. So you can see that in 1858 to 59, 50% of the British income was from the taxes itself. So you can see how heavy the taxes were. Also farmers were punished if they failed to pay the taxes, and they were sent to jail, they were sentenced. And during those times the judiciary was also corrupt, and there was no way for the farmers to get justice. So these were the three systems of British period, or the land revenue system of the Britishers and its effects. Okay.